In the dimly lit hall of the Sullivan estate, tension hung thick in the air like a heavy fog. Naomi, her chest tightening with apprehension, watched as Theodore leveled an accusatory finger at Damon, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs.
What's happening? What do you mean?
Naomi's voice trembled, betraying the turmoil swirling within her. She couldn't comprehend the sudden turn of events, the accusation hurled at Damon like a lightning bolt from a clear sky. At any other time, Naomi would have been happy given a chance to push Damon out of her life. She won't leave any opportunity to show Damon the difference between him and the Sullivan family. However, this time, she didn't want to do either. Theodore looked at Naomi's defensive stance against Damon and sneered.
Naomi, I'm afraid there's something you don't know.
Then he looked at Damon and he threw a remark.
Damon, you want to fight with me? All of this is just the beginning. You can't beat me. I want you to die miserably and your reputation to be ruined. I will take care of the women around you one by one.
Theodore wished he could say these words, however, only in his thoughts he could take jabs at Damon. However, his intentions were laid bare for all to see. The tension in the room escalated, suffocating in its intensity. Naomi replied as her voice shook. Eyes darted between Damon and Theodore.
What do you mean?
Naomi's words hung in the air, her confusion palpable. She couldn't fathom why Theodore was targeting Damon with such ferocity, her heart torn between loyalty to her family and an inexplicable desire to protect Damon. Theodore, with a smirk evident in his voice, said,
Naomi, I'll tell you something that would open your eyes to the truth.
Theodore's sneer sent a shiver down Naomi's spine, her fear mingling with a fierce determination to unravel the truth.
Damon, weren't you the one who called Ferdinando back? Of course, if you don't want to answer, I have my ways to get the truth out of you.
Listening to Theodore's words, the Sullivan family was shocked. Everyone looked at Damon with complicated emotions. This is when Naomi asked again.
Damon, is he telling the truth?
Damon replied with a calm voice, yet tinged with defiance.
Yes, I asked him to come back.
Damon's admission shattered the silence like a stone cast into still waters, sending ripples of shock through the Sullivan family.
What? You called Ferdinand back?
Damon, do you have a grudge against the Sullivan family? We know that Ferdinand is so good to you that he would marry his granddaughter to you unconditionally. I can also understand if you want to improve your status. But why do you ask the old man to come back at this time?
Fuck! Are you trying to frame our family?
Well, the old man has been caught. Are you happy now? You don't have much strength, but do you think you can rely on others for your whole life?
Fortunately, Mr. Hamilton is here.
The accusations flew like arrows, each word laced with venom as the Sullivan family turned against Damon, their loyalty shifting like sand beneath his feet. Damon, with an unwavering gaze and a voice dripping with disdain, asked Theodore.
So?
Damon's defiance reverberated through the room, his unwavering gaze fixed on Theodore, a silent challenge amidst the chaos.
So? I've seen shameless people, but I've never seen such a shameless person like you.
Look at your daughter, Andres. Look, what kind of man is she marrying in the future?
Laughter echoed off the walls, mingling with the crackling of the fireplace as the Sullivan family mocked Damon, their allegiance shifting towards Theodore like a flock of sheep following their shepherd.
Perhaps it's better for him to marry Mr. Hamilton today.
Mr. Hamilton is a fine-looking man.
In the midst of the chaos, Damon remained stoic, his eyes locked with Theodore's in a silent battle of wills, as the flames of betrayal danced in the darkness, casting long shadows over the Sullivan estate. The Sullivan family saw Theodore as a key to reclaiming their former glory, his lineage, a bridge to the illustrious Hamilton family. And as personally came to his aid in their time of need, it became apparent that his intentions extended beyond mere altruism. Naomi's aunt immediately turned to Naomi and said urgently in a hushed tone,
Naomi, open your eyes and look carefully.
Naomi's aunt, her voice laden with urgency, sought to pierce the veil of her niece's innocence, to unveil the intricate web of alliances woven around them. Father, wearing a mask of uncertainty, said,
I don't know what to say.
Naomi's father, torn between loyalty and doubt, struggled to find his voice amidst the tumultuous sea of emotions swirling within him. No matter what, he was going to be on his side.
Why did you call Grandpa back at this time?
Naomi's question hung heavy in the air, a beacon of expectation amidst the storm of accusations and insinuations. He had no choice but to give an answer to the Sullivan family.
Your grandfather was wrongly accused at that time.
Damon's words, a lone beacon of truth amidst a sea of skepticism, fell on deaf ears as laughter erupted once more, mocking his earnestness. The Sullivan family couldn't get in touch with Ferdinand. However, Damon was able to get in touch with him. Apart from that, Ferdinand actually listened to him.
Damon, do you think we don't know?
What? You want the old man to come back so that you can prove that he was wronged? And then what?
The voices of dissent swirled around Damon like a tempest, their scornful words a dagger aimed at his resolve.
And then you want him to help you again? You don't need to be so useless, do you?
Why did he want to listen to Damon?
What's wrong with the old man? Fuck, why is our family even involved in something like this?
The room echoed with the collective frustration of the Sullivan family, their anger a wildfire ready to consume Damon. More angry uproar from the Sullivan family. Happier Theodore got, he thought to himself, with a twisted sense of satisfaction.
This was just the beginning, Damon. I want you to live a miserable life.
Theodore's thoughts, laden with malice, hung in the air like a curse, a portent of the trials yet to come as he reveled in Damon's unraveling. And amidst the chaos, the threads of fate tightened, binding them all in a tangled dance of ambition and betrayal. In the midst of the swirling tempest of accusations and veiled threats, Naomi's aunt stepped forward, her voice a beacon of defiance amidst the chaos.
Mr. Hamilton, do you really have a way?
Naomi's aunt said with a hint of skepticism. Theodore, undeterred by the scrutiny, met her gaze with unwavering confidence. His words dripped with purpose. Theodore said with a smug grin,
Of course I have a way. Don't you know the ability of the Hamilton family? However, I have a purpose.
Theodore's words, a bold declaration of power, sent ripples of apprehension through the gathered crowd, their allegiance shifting like sand in the wind.
Okay, we'll drive Damon out now.
Naomi's aunt said, cutting through the tension with a steely gaze. Naomi's aunt's words, a swift condemnation wrapped in a cloak of authority, drew a sharp contrast against the backdrop of uncertainty and doubt. Naomi's aunt turned to Damon, her tone dripping with disdain.
Do you want to get out of here yourself, or do you want me to kick you out?
The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, a silent challenge to Damon's resolve amidst the storm of condemnation. Naomi's aunt continued, her voice laced with scorn.
Don't embarrass yourself. You should get out of here by yourself.
Naomi, turning to face her family, her gaze unwavering, said,
You should see the difference between you and Naomi. Don't forget to see the difference between you and Mr. Hamilton. The difference is too huge to not.
Andreas, look at your daughter. Your father made a mistake, and you can't make the same mistake as him.
Naomi's aunt's words, a stark reminder of the consequences of complacency, hung in the air like a heavy fog, casting a shadow over the Sullivan family's once unwavering resolve. And amidst the chaos, the lines between loyalty and betrayal blur, leaving only the bitter taste of regret in their wake. In the midst of the mounting tension, Damon's phone pierced the silence like a beacon in the night, the shrill ring cutting through the thick veil of uncertainty. It was a text message from Justin.
Boss, it's done. He should be released in a while.
Justin's words, a silent confirmation of success, sent ripples of relief through Damon, a testament to Justin's unwavering efficiency. Seeing the attitude of the Sullivan family, and unaware of Damon's plan, Theodore made a call.
Levi, I'm Theodore. The butler of the Hamilton family told me to call you. I heard that Ferdinand was found by the military. Can you help me with this?
Theodore's voice, a mixture of desperation and determination, echoed through the air like a plea for salvation as he reached out to his last remaining ally. Levi, on the other end of the line, his voice tinged with regret, said, Levi's words, a bitter truth wrapped in a cloak of resignation, hung heavy in the air, casting a shadow over Theodore's dwindling hopes.
Mr. Hamilton, how's it going?
What do you mean, how is it going? Of course the matter is settled, since it's Mr. Hamilton who helped.
The voices of the Sullivan family, eager for reassurance, swirled around Theodore like a chorus of approval, their faith unwavering in the face of uncertainty. Theodore's face was a little pale. Who on earth had the Sullivan family offended? Even his connections couldn't help. Naomi's aunt said, motioning for Theodore to enter.
Mr. Hamilton, please come in.
Naomi's aunt's words, a silent command wrapped in a veil of hospitality, drew Theodore into the heart of the Sullivan estate, his presence a harbinger of change amidst the sea of uncertainty. Naomi's aunt looked at Naomi's father, who was blocking his way, and said,
What are you doing? Come on, get out of the way.
Only then did Naomi's father realize what was going on. Although he had made way for Theodore, he was still in a trance. Theodore hesitates at the threshold of the Sullivan estate, his mind swirling with unanswered questions, his gaze darting between the expectant faces of the Sullivan family members. Then all of a sudden, Naomi's father's phone rang. He answered his phone, his voice trembling with anticipation.
Hello?
Naomi's father's voice, a blend of hope and trepidation, echoed through the air like a whispered prayer as he received unexpected news.
Dad, you've been released on bail?
Naomi's father's words, a joyful revelation wrapped in a cloak of disbelief, sent shockwaves through the gathered crowd, their excitement palpable. Naomi's father's excitement bubbling over as he continued.
When will you come back? Good then. Yes, he's here.
Naomi's father's words, a rapid-fire exchange of reassurance and excitement, drew a chorus of cheers from the Sullivan family members, their jubilant voices filling the air with anticipation.
Ferdinand is finally coming back?
Haha, I've told you. Mr. Hamilton is really awesome.
Mr. Hamilton, thank you. Please visit us more in the future.
The voices of the Sullivan family, a symphony of gratitude and excitement, washed over Theodore like a tidal wave, leaving him bewildered in their wake. Theodore, then turning to Damon, his confusion evident, he thought,
Damn, did Damon solve this?
Theodore's thoughts, a mixture of disbelief and frustration, hung in the air like a shadow, casting doubt on the source of their unexpected salvation. And amidst the jubilation, Theodore's gaze lingered on Damon. In less than half an hour, a sleek black Audi glided to a stop outside the Sullivan estate, the air pregnant with expectation as the door opened, revealing a figure of formidable presence.
Great, Ferdinand is back.
Ha ha ha, the old man is back.
The Sullivan family's voices, a chorus of reverence and anticipation, filled the air like a hymn of praise as they awaited the return of their patriarch. Ferdinand stepped out of the car, his gaze piercing as he locked eyes with Damon. Ferdinand's gaze, a silent verdict amidst the chaos, swept over the gathered crowd, his presence commanding respect and deference. Theodore stepped forward, extending his hand with a forced smile, said,
Sir Ferdinand, I've heard a lot about you. I'm Theodore Hamilton from the Hamilton family.
Theodore's words, a tentative offering of respect amidst the palpable tension, hung in the air like a fragile thread, awaiting Ferdinand's response. Ferdinand ignoring Theodore, his focus on Damon. Ferdinand's words, a cold dismissal wrapped in a cloak of authority, cut through the air like a knife, leaving Theodore stunned in their wake. Ferdinand, then, turned to Theodore, his voice dripping with warning. He said,
Mr. Hamilton, go up and introduce yourself to him. You are the hero of the Sullivan family.
Ferdinand's words, a stark reminder of his authority and power, reverberated through the air like a thunderclap, casting a shadow over Theodore's hopes. And amidst the chaos, the lines between loyalty and betrayal blur, leaving only the bitter taste of regret in their wake. The Sullivan family stood frozen in disbelief, their eyes wide with shock as Ferdinand's unexpected outburst reverberated through the room like a sudden clap of thunder. Theodore, as he attempted to regain his composure, said with a voice strained with disbelief,
Sir, I think there must be some misunderstanding between us, right?
Theodore's words, a desperate plea for reason amidst the chaos, fell on deaf ears as Ferdinand's resolve remained unyielding. Ferdinand said as he advanced towards Theodore, his voice cutting like ice.
Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding? Is my statement not clear enough?
Ferdinand's words, a harsh rebuke wrapped in a cloak of authority, sent shivers down the spines of the gathered crowd, their shock giving way to confusion and fear.
What the hell is happening?
It's never been like this before.
The murmurs of confusion and disbelief swept through the room like a gust of wind, leaving the Sullivan family reeling in its wake. Naomi's aunt stepped forward, her voice filled with urgency. She said,
Dad, what are you talking about? You just came back today.
Naomi's aunt's words, a plea for reason amidst the chaos, hung in the air like a fragile thread, a last-ditch effort to salvage the crumbling facade of unity. Naomi's aunt continued, her voice tinged with frustration. She whispered in Ferdinand's ears,
He is from the Hamilton family. We need to respect the Hamilton family. Besides, what's wrong with you? The Sullivan family needs the support of the Hamilton very much. First, you forced Naomi to get married to that man, and now you are disrespecting the Hamilton heir. Are you in your senses?
Naomi's aunt's words, a poignant reminder of the delicate balance of power and influence, struck a chord with the gathered crowd, their murmurs of agreement underscoring the gravity of the situation. Ferdinand, unyielding, his gaze unwavering, said,
Mr. Hamilton, I have no grudge toward the Hamilton family. However, the Sullivan family doesn't welcome you. Besides, I have already chosen Damon as Naomi's husband, so please don't try anything with her that you would regret later.
Ferdinand's words, a final decree of authority, hung in the air like a heavy cloud, casting a shadow over Theodore's hopes of redemption. And amidst the chaos, Theodore's gaze remained fixed on Ferdinand, his disbelief mirrored in the eyes of the Sullivan family, including Naomi's father. Theodore sneered, his voice dripped with contempt.
Ferdinand, do you really think that you're still young? Don't forget that you are just out on bail. You still don't know what you're going to be convicted of yet.
Theodore's words, a veiled threat wrapped in a cloak of menace, tried to cast a shadow over Ferdinand's bravado. The Hamilton family was great at putting people down. They might not be good at saving people. However, berating them was their speciality. Ferdinand, on the other hand, was still smiling. With a confident tone, he said,
Mr. Hamilton, you don't have to worry about it. The reason I came back to Hoxia this time is to whitewash myself.
Ferdinand's words, a declaration of intent amidst the storm of uncertainty, draw a sharp laugh from Theodore, his disbelief evident in the curl of his lips. Theodore mocked his words, and with a biting laughter he said,
Ferdinand, do you think you can whitewash yourself? You should know better than anyone about the status of the person who used to attack you.
Theodore's words, a cutting reminder of Ferdinand's fall from grace, lingered like an echo, a bitter truth wrapped in a cloak of disdain. Ferdinand's reaction, a mix of surprise and indignation, sent ripples of unease through the gathered crowd, their murmurs of uncertainty underscored by Theodore's relentless mockery. Theodore had also heard of the incident in Andover province. What Theodore had said hit a nerve in Ferdinand. Ferdinand was slightly stunned. His brows were furrowed and his expression was gloomy. Theodore continued the mockery, with his tone dripping with malice, said,
So what's your bargaining chip? The Sullivan family? Perhaps you don't know what they have become now. Or your bargaining chip is Damon?
Theodore's words, a cruel taunt aimed at Ferdinand's pride, reverberated through the room like a thunderclap, leaving Ferdinand momentarily stunned in their wake. Theodore glanced at Damon, his voice laced with contempt. He sneered.
If Damon is the person you are betting on, I must tell you that Damon has become a person who has no ability and no money. He donated all his funds to the Hamilton family a few days ago. All the money has been used, so now he's a person with no money and no power.
Theodore's words, a brutal blow to Damon's reputation, sent shockwaves through the gathered crowd. Their murmurs of disbelief rose like a distant storm on the horizon. Ferdinand's gaze, a mixture of doubt and trust, lingered on Damon's face, his belief in his grandson-in-law wavering amidst Theodore's relentless assault. Theodore turned to Damon. His voice dripped with arrogance. He asked Damon,
"Am I right, Damon?"
Theodore's words, a challenge veiled in the guise of superiority, hung in the air like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over Damon's once unshakable resolve. And amidst the chaos, the Sullivan family's whispers of doubt grew louder. Their faith in their patriarch wavered as the threads of fate unraveled before their very eyes. Ferdinand thought to himself,
Damon donated all his money? How could he do such a stupid thing?
However, the doubt was short-lived as he came to his senses and smiled. He believed in Damon more than anything, as he was the reason Ferdinand was standing here in front of everyone. Theodore, thinking he just got a win, turned and said,
"Am I right, Damon?"
Everyone thought that although Ferdinand was really powerful, however, there was a lapse in his judgment this time, which might be harmful to the Sullivan family. The tension in the room was palpable, thick with uncertainty as Damon's laughter cut through the air like a knife, echoing against the walls of the opulent parlor.
"What are you laughing at?"
Theodore said, curling his lips into a smile.
Do you really think that I will donate all my money?
Damon's words, a confident inquiry, hung in the air like a veil of mockery, casting a shadow over Theodore's enigmatic smile.
"Well, according to my investigation, your working capital is less than $1 million.
Even Theodore couldn't figure out why a rich person like Damon does not have even $1 million as his working capital. He wondered what exactly were his plans.
Then have you found out how my $30 billion came?
Damon's question, a challenge veiled in the guise of curiosity, sent ripples of unease through the gathered crowd. Their murmurs of uncertainty rose like a distant storm on the horizon. Theodore frowned, his expression clouded with doubt. He asked,
"How?"
Theodore's question, a desperate plea for answers amidst the chaos, hung in the air like a whispered prayer, a testament to his growing unease. The Sullivan family wanted to draw Damon out, but to everybody's surprise, he sat down even more comfortably.
Mr. Hamilton, you may not know me very well. I usually hate spending money, so you tell me, why should I donate such a large sum of money to you?
Damon's words, a chilling revelation wrapped in a cloak of indifference, sent shockwaves through the gathered crowd. Their murmurs of disbelief rose like a distant storm on the horizon.
"Aren't you making a compromise with the Hamilton family?"
Mr. Hamilton, you overestimate your family too much.
Theodore's reaction, a mixture of surprise and disbelief, underscored the gravity of Damon's words, casting doubt on his true intentions amidst the chaos. Damon continued, his voice dripped with confidence. He said,
To tell you the truth, the Hamilton family can only be regarded as a slightly more strong opponent to me. However, today, I'm going to destroy the entire Hamilton family.
"How arrogant."
Theodore's eyes widened, thinking, Damon is out here, digging his own grave. As Damon continued speaking, he took out the donation list and the certificates from that day and said,
From now on, the whole Hamilton family should start to fear me.
Damon's words, a bold declaration of intent, hung in the air like a heavy cloud, casting a shadow over Theodore's hopes of redemption. And amidst the chaos, the Sullivan family's whispers of doubt grew louder. Their faith in their patriarch wavered as the threads of fate unravel before their very eyes. Theodore frowned and looked at Damon, thinking that he must be crazy. How could Damon ruin the Hamilton family with just a certificate and list? The Hamilton family was not easy to take down. Damon opened the list. The expenditure ratio of each donation and the actual donation time were all written on it. All the time had come to an end today. Damon, his voice calm, yet laced with underlying tension, said,
Mr. Hamilton, I want to know where the money that I have donated goes in these 7 days.
Damon's words, a quiet challenge amidst the hushed whispers of the gathered crowd, hung in the air like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over Theodore's carefully constructed facade. Theodore, now with his composure faltering and his mind racing, his reaction, a mixture of disbelief and apprehension, underscored the gravity of Damon's inquiry, left the Sullivan family reeling in its wake.
Is this Damon's final move?
He's playing a dangerous game.
The murmurs of uncertainty swept through the room like a gust of wind, left Theodore struggling to maintain his facade of confidence amidst the storm of uncertainty. He very well knew where the money was going. Theodore, now forcing a smile, his voice strained with tension, said,
"Since the money has been donated, no matter how the Agape charity wants to use it, it is up to them."
Theodore's words, a feeble attempt to deflect Damon's probing inquiry, was a whispered prayer, a desperate plea for reprieve amidst the chaos. Dam said with a piercing gaze and a voice cutting like a blade,
To tell you the truth, my intelligence agency has found out about all your illegal transactions. Now the Hamilton family has to surrender.
Isaitan di ginana. Damon's words, a chilling revelation wrapped in a cloak of certainty, shocked the gathered crowd. Their murmurs of disbelief rose like a distant storm on the horizon. Theodore was taken aback, his expression masked by fear. He understood the gravity of Damon's threat, leaving the Sullivan family reeling in its wake. And amidst the chaos, the threads of fate unraveled before their very eyes, leaving only the bitter taste of defeat in their wake. The Agape charity, a behemoth in its own right, loomed over the landscape like a colossus, its roots stretching far and wide, entwined with the very fabric of society. For Damon, toppling such an institution would be akin to uprooting the foundations of the world itself. The reason why the Agape charity was able to become a charity organization was that the profit was extremely huge. It was not how much money had been put into their own pocket, but rather some of the money itself was donated by other companies to show goodwill to the Agape charity. However, most of the money had gone overseas. It could be said that the Agape charity had been doing something illegal. Theodore, in an official tone, attempting to maintain composure.
Of course, you can investigate if you want. However, the company is busy recently, and it will take at least a week.
A week?
Damon exclaimed.
Do you think it would be useful to delay the time?
Mr. Hemsworth, we are not deliberately delaying. 30 billion is not a small number. We can investigate it, but it will take time.
Theodore's words, a feeble attempt to deflect Damon's scrutiny, fell flat against the weight of Damon's resolve, leaving the air thick with tension and uncertainty. Damon calmly presented another list and said,
Take a look at this and tell me if you can still stall the time.
Damon's words, a quiet challenge amidst the storm of uncertainty, casted a shadow over Theodore's carefully constructed facade. Theodore was dumbfounded, his eyes widened in disbelief.
Now you not only need to explain it to me.
Damon's words, a stark reminder of the weight of responsibility, echoed through the room like a whispered prayer, leaving Theodore struggling to maintain his composure amidst the chaos. The list contained names of many well-known enterprises. Some were even state-owned, some banks, and Joyce's name.
What's this?
The list of people I borrowed money from. Of course, there are still some people who have volunteered to invest in me. Mr. Hamilton, do you still think that I'm not qualified to check the whereabouts of the Hamilton family's charity money? I don't care if the Hamilton family wants me to investigate or not. However, now you not only need to explain it to me.
All of a sudden, Theodore's phone rang, breaking the tense silence with its shrill tone. Theodore answered, his expression turning to one of shock and disbelief as he listened to the voice on the other end.
The whole Agape charity is in a mess this time, sir. Not only were well-known businesses in the province looking for Agape charity to find out the truth about donations, but also major banks and some public institutions, even the local departments.
Theodore's reaction underscored the gravity of the situation, leaving the Sullivan family reeling in its wake. The Hamilton family was caught off guard by the speed at which the things were unfolding.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Click the notification bell so you never miss an update.